What's going on, urban CEOs? This is Taria Vision Avant, and this is another edition of As Real as It Gets TV. I am so excited to be here. We have another incredible VIP guest, and of course, we have our ambassadors as well as just some great information for you guys. Now, I'm just super excited to be here, and I want to let you guys know as we still have supplies for anybody who actually purchases an Urban CEO t-shirt. You will also get this Urban CEO face mask because we want to make sure that you guys are safe. Now, one of the things that every single one of our masks get, because I don't just want to send you guys a mask, I want to make sure that we're also equipping you for ultimate health. Each mask will also have its own filter, and all you got to do is you can actually kind of slit it a little bit so that you can slide in your filter right at the top. Hold on, let me show you guys. It's real easy to do. You see, just slide your filter. Just in case for those of you who want a little bit of extra protection. And so it's really simple to put on. You see? And believe it or not, y'all, I wore this. Hold on, let me take it off. I wore this the other day and somebody was like, Urban CEO, what is that? What do you do? And of course, I'm able to go into my spiel. Now, for those of you, this is your first time ever hearing about Urban CEO, welcome. How you doing? Okay. Urban actually stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. And honestly, when we put this company together, the vision was to be able to be that bridge, between the urban community and business success. For me, I have literally bootstrapped my way to a six-figure business. I didn't understand a lot of the resources or the tools and the people that were available. And even sometimes when I would get around people who had the resources, it's like sometimes many people forget that you need to meet people where they are. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I don't really understand a whole lot of stuff when it comes to someone that's been plugged into the corporate world or plugged into business. So when it's time to expand and terminologies and steps, it just to sound like so overwhelming and confusing. So I was one of those CEOs where, I didn't really register my business the right way. I didn't have my stuff set up the proper way. I just straight up used PayPal, Stripe, whatever I could use. And, and I just grinded my way, and then come to find out, there could have been so many things I could had taken advantage of, from being able to get funded to being able to build and establish business credit to even being able to position myself to get government grants. But a lot of the times when we go to these types of events and or rallies or meetings or conferences, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be real honest. A lot of times people just forget, everybody ain't on your level and everybody don't understand what the hell you talking about. So you need to make sure that you simplify it for some of us in this audience that's kind of new to this. Okay, I ain't new to the hustle. I'm true to the hustle, but I'm new to some of this verbiage. You know what I'm saying? It used to just go right over my head. And another thing about Urban CEO is that we want to be able to provide an atmosphere that regardless of your background, we don't judge people over here. In fact, I believe that we need to stop doing that. I don't believe people wake up automatically making decisions to do something wrong. People wake up making decisions to survive. And so with that stated, we love and invite everyone that wants to be able to get themselves on the right side of success, whether it's success in business, your career, health and wellness, and all that stuff. All right. Well, anyways, I ain't gonna talk you to death, but I did want to share with you guys a little bit about Urban CEO. And if you have not plugged in, we're looking for you. We need you. Come join the movement. Go to Urban CEO Network. And then I think you can see the text message. It says text Urban CEO to 484848 so that you can be in the know. You could be able to receive all the information first whenever we have big events, announcements, and there's just a lot that's coming up. Okay, so please make sure that you plug into us, urbanceonetwork.com. But other than that, we got to pay some bills. We got a commercial to get to, and then we will go ahead and get ready for the rest of this show. All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Taria Vision Avant, and I wanted to just jump up here real quick and tell you, have you heard about the Urban CEO Network? Darling, if you have not heard about Urban CEO, then you need to make sure that you jump on board. Right now, we have a special so that you can actually be a part of our Urban CEO Academy, which is our monthly membership program, where not only do you get exclusive access to events, discounts, and things of that nature, but you also get training that's designed to help you to grow your business. Right now, you can join for 7 days for free and see what we're all about. All you need to do is go to urbanceoacademy.com and check us out. For real, like, we're the fastest growing organization right now, designed to help men and women that come from the urban community that want to grow in business, that want to grow in their career, or you simply just want to be able to grow in your life. Urban actually stands for unapologetic, real bold, action-oriented, and non-conforming. So come over here, check us out, join. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. 7 days free. You have really, it's a win-win situation, so you can see what we're all about, all right? So join. I look forward to seeing you guys there. I'm going to talk to you later. Deuces. All right, so that was another one of our incredible Urban CEO Academy sponsors. Thank you so much for just looking out for us and helping us to get back and give back to our Urban CEO community. Well, now it is time to bring on one of our amazing Urban CEO ambassadors so that she can actually share with us the quote of the day. So let's go ahead and tune in. What do you got?
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Chanel Spencer, and I'm super excited to be here with you guys. I am the CEO of Maximum Evolution, and we help women to transform their lives and create their own tables, because we are no longer waiting for a seat at anybody else's table. We're just going to go build our own. Okay, thank you. So if you would love to connect with me, my Instagram is Chanel Spencer Now, because you need me now, not tomorrow, but right now. And my business Instagram is Maximum Evolution. And you can reach us at www.readytotransformnow.com, because again, you need us now, not tomorrow, now. So for our quote of the day, I have, we all make mistakes, have struggles, and even regret things in our past. But you are not your mistakes, you are not your struggles, and you are here now with the power to shape your day and your future. And that comes in from Steve Maraboli.
Well, thank you so much, Chanel. That's a really, 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 really good quote, and I might bring you back on in a second, but I think it's such a good quote only because many times what we do is we dwell upon those mistakes, right? And it causes us sometimes to fail to take action. And I know one of the things you help women to do is to take action now. And that, if we're always hanging on to the past, or I used to have a mentor who would say, if you're always looking in the rear view mirror, then you can't go forward. So, what do you find? And I know that you work with a lot of women and helping them to transform now. What do you find are some of the effective ways to kind of let go of those mistakes, or maybe to move forward? What are some of the things that you would recommend to our urban CEOs watching this?
So the main thing is to understand that you are human. We all make mistakes. We're all going to have challenges. Trust me, I'm going through stuff now and I'm just like, what's happening, right? But it's up to us to make the decision that we want more for ourselves, and for us to make the choice to say, what happened to me happened to me. I am not a victim. I have the power to be who I want to be, and literally just take the steps. And the first step is to forgive yourself. That's the biggest and most important step. And a lot of times we beat ourselves up, we cry, we're sad because we literally feel like, oh man, woe is me. But forgive yourself and forgive the person who may have hurt you or helped you to make the mistakes, or whatever it is that you feel. So forgive yourself and forgive the person or anyone else that has hurt you or caused you any struggle and pain. And then just make the decision that you want more and go for it. Do it afraid, with fear, whatever it is, just do it. I promise you, you are probably your worst critic, as I am. I think you can attest to that too. I am my own worst critic, but I make sure that I push through my fear or whatever I'm afraid of, and I just do it anyways, because you just never know what's on the other side of that door or the other side of that table.
Girl, you better speak it, honey. Listen, our ambassadors out here, they not just cute, okay? They got some nuggets for you. So, Chanel, thank you so much for those inspiring words. And listen, y'all, we got to take action, and we got to forgive ourselves and forgive those others too. Even though they don't deserve it. Damn it.
Yeah. You're not doing it for that. It's for you. Trust me. It's for you, okay? It's like you drinking poison and hoping something happens to the other person. No, child. You're gonna be the miserable one while they skipping down the beach. Nuh-uh. You're gonna be on the
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much to our ambassadors at thebomb.com. And let's go ahead. Look, we've got more commercials, so we're going to go ahead and bring on another one of our incredible commercials. And if you want to be a part of our TV show, make sure that you hit us up. In fact, we have announcements coming up that'll give you more details on how you can do that as well. So let's get to this commercial.
Hi, my name is Angela Taylor, the founder and CEO of So Lovely Creation Boutique and Angela Sky Collection. I created Angela Sky Collection to tell my story, to tell my journey. I believe that fashion speaks value, and I believe that it tells everyone's story because it gives you a chance to create something that you love, create something that other people will enjoy and love too. Everyone has a story to tell, and I hope that you guys can truly find your own voice, and maybe So Lovely Creation Boutique and Angela Sky Collection can help you find that voice by wearing some of my items that has boisterous words on there and expresses feeling.
All right, so everybody, welcome back from that commercial break. And now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to get one of our incredible Urban CEO ambassadors to share the announcement. So let's go ahead and bring them on to talk about what's good in the hood.
Hello. It's your girl, Candy with an E, and I'm here with today's announcement. Are you an Academy member? Are you really an Academy member? Which means that you have been in the Academy for more than 3 months. If you have been, then guess what? Your power pack is on the way. If you are an Academy member and you have been in our Academy for over 3 months, your power pack will be sent out at the end of this month. So make sure that you're checking your mailboxes. And when you get that power pack, make sure you let everybody know that Urban CEO Network has sent it out to you. Now, the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is being a professor. If you have skills, you know how to teach people about whatever, send in an email to info@urbanceonetwork.com because we need you as a professor in our academy and teaching us all of your knowledge. So again, get your email out, put in info@urbanceonetwork, and in the subject line say, I want to be a professor, and send in an email and let us know what it is that you know how to do. So, want to get exposure? Hit us up, because if you are a business owner and you want to be seen in front of thousands of people, guess what? Send an email in to info@urbanceonetwork.com and let us know that you want to get exposure, and we will send you all of the information on how we can help you get your business exposure. Again, I'm your girl, Candy with an E, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Candy. I appreciate you for the announcements. And y'all, excuse Crown. Y'all know Crown is our official dog with Urban CEO. He wanted to bark. I guess he was excited about the announcements that Candy had because he just wanted to let y'all know he's in the building. And also, Candy didn't even let everybody know who she is, what she does. You know, she's a little humble in the background. But a lot of people hit me up and they say, who is it that does your social media? Like, who's doing the graphics, the quotes, all of the content that you guys create with your social media? And Candy Martin with Candy Enterprises, she actually gets that done. So if you need help with your social media, you need some management, you need some posting, you need all that good stuff, right? Make sure that you hit her up at candyenterprises.com. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna go ahead and shift gears for another commercial. You know, we gotta pay some bills, darling. We got bills to be paid, and we want to make sure that we get them done. So with that said, let's go ahead and bring up another one of our incredible super sponsors. Let's check it out. Will Roundtree, Twyla Portis, Carla Beatles, Orlando Haynes, Dr. Jasmine Zapata, Andrea Williams, Dr. LaTanya Jackson, Kitten Gray, Brian Keith Bailey, Isabel Rojas, and then we have Micro. We have Annette Bryant, as well as Dr. Stevie Aisha Mills. What do all these people have in common? My name is Taria Vishnaphan, and since 2014, I've helped more than 5,000 speakers, coaches, and network marketers to write books to grow their business. Look, this is the best time more than ever to actually finally get that book done. So if you want to join my free masterclass and learn more about how I can help you to get your book done, go to abookinthe30days.com. I hope you join me. We actually have an intensive book camp coming up very soon. So I hope that you pull up on us and join me. All right. So abookinthe30days.com, and I'll see you there. Deuces. All right, so what's going on, Urban CEOs? We are back. Now, listen, wasn't that some incredible stuff from our ambassadors, right? And don't you guys love our commercials? I mean, we're doing a little bit of something over here. But you know what? Now it's time to bring on our incredible VIP guest of today. Now, let me just tell you guys, this young lady was actually supposed to be at our Urban CEO Summit that, we like to do, in different markets that we're opening every single quarter. But unfortunately, we are now here in our homes, okay? And so we had to make sure, though, that we still gave you guys a chance to meet this young lady. And don't worry, when we do open back up, you guys will definitely get a chance to meet her face to face. And so we're super excited about this young lady. So let me just go ahead and make sure that I give you her good intro, darling, okay? So as you see, first of all, she is a beautiful queen, right? You see this beautiful picture, honey? Yeah, honey, do it. But her name is Danielle. I keep saying Danielle, but it's Deneshia. I don't know why I want to connect her name together, but Deneshia Bell, right? Deneshia Bell, and she is a part of the company TotallyRandie, or that is actually her brand, and she's a media personality for Houston Style Magazine, as well as a lifestyle blogger. When she is not interviewing your favorite celebrity or bringing you the latest information about national holidays and everything brand related, she is helping companies digitally soar with her company. Girl, look, we urban. I don't even know what the hell. You got to help me with this Pingme Social, girl. She gonna hook us up, okay? All my urban CEOs, don't worry, because I didn't see this word. I don't know how to pronounce it, but she gonna hook me up. That's why I am where I am. But y'all, I am so excited to bring on to the line none other than our incredible VIP guest, Deneshia Bell. Hey, cutie pie. So look, honey, forgive me. What was the word? Pine?
It's Pingme. I know.
Pingme. Oh, I know what Pingme is. Child, listen, look.
Social.
And that's one thing. So, Deneshia, if you don't know, one thing about Urban CEO that I always stress is a lot of times, I think in the urban community, when we go out here and we try to do these things in business, sometimes we see something, we don't understand it, it becomes intimidating or maybe confusing, and so we'll just give up on it. Me?
Right.
And I'm going to be the one to raise my hand and say, excuse me, I don't really know what that means. And I think if more of us were willing to just kind of put ourselves out there, because 9 times out of 10, there's other people sitting there don't know what the hell that is either, right? But I do know Pingme. I've seen that before, okay? Yes. But I know.
Tears over here.
Right? I'm sorry. But I know that I did not give you full justice about your entire background, your bio. Deneshia, if you could, do me a favor and let all of our urban CEOs know exactly how did you get to where you are today?
Well, thank you so much. First of all, thank you, Urban CEO Network, for having me here on your show. And I cannot wait until we are actually together at the live conference. But it's interesting you say that because a lot of people know me by TotallyRandie. TotallyRandie is a name, and you guys probably now that we've been in it for a while, you see everyone just kind of creates their own personalities on social media. And so that's how TotallyRandie was created. I didn't have a platform. I didn't have a magazine I was working with. TotallyRandie was a hobby for me to get over a breakup, interestingly enough. And so a lot of my friends, they said that I was random. And so that's how I got the name TotallyRandie. And so that's what a lot of people are familiar with. They thought my name was Randy, but obviously it's not. It just means totally random. But I started blogging 7 years ago. Anybody who tells you that you can achieve those things overnight is an absolute lie. It takes years. You cannot get around it. And so I started blogging, and at the time, Jay-Z was coming out with Magna Carta Holy Grail, and he actually changed how he did press when he came out with that album, actually. He didn't allow any press to interview him. He used Twitter, and I thought that was very interesting, the way that I saw that. He let the world interview him first before he gave any press to, real media. And so when I wrote an article on that, I waited for Jay-Z to actually finish tweeting. I also, reached out to Twitter and said, hey, is this, was this actually Jay-Z? Can you verify that? And they did. They verified that it was him tweeting. And so I wrote an article, and Houston Style picked me up. And so our brands kind of aligned with each other. So Houston Style is the #1 urban magazine here for Houston. We were the first to put Beyonce on the cover. That is always going to be our mantra, I guess. And we are digital and we are print, and so I naturally have the innate talent to interview people. I interviewed Steve Harvey when I was 15 years old, and that just kind of became my thing. So Houston Style picked me up, and they were like, "TotallyRandie, we're gonna let you run with it."
Well, look, now that's really, really dope. And what I love so much is that a lot of times when we bring on our VIP guests, 9 times out of 10, we find that they're doing what they're doing because they took some kind of action step towards something that was not even necessarily available, if that makes sense. Like,
Right.
like they weren't just waiting for someone to say, hey, we need you to come here. And I think that's very important about, understanding the power behind taking action. In fact,
Absolutely.
look, one thing look, urban actually stands for something. It stands for unapologetic, real bold, action oriented, and non-conforming. And honey, when I think about you and think about the fact that you did what you did, I mean, even reaching out to Twitter, like many people would be intimidated and think like Twitter's not going to hit me back, and you made a decision to do it, and this is why you are where you are. Now, I know that today we're talking about the digital marketing. We're talking about digital marketing today in the culture driven world that we are, right? Okay, so we're driven by so many different things. I would say predominantly by urban music, right? But what would you say is so important, especially for our urban CEOs right now, to be focusing on when it comes to really getting themselves out there in front of not just their market, but also the media?
Right. And I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you transitioned to that because as everyone knows that if you are actually starting up a brand or being a blogger, you have to have, or a media personality, you have to have a 9 to 5. And so my 9 to 5 is I'm a digital marketer, and my actual generation started social media. So you had to have, in 2005, when he opened it up to the world, you had to have a college email address for you to get on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We started it. We know how it works. We know when it transitions. We know when it goes separately. So when businesses started using social media, it was just innate in me to see how to advertise, how to use social media in a way that you can market. So right now, what's happening is we know the stats. Say it with me. It's $1.2 trillion that Black culture have when it comes to buying power. We know that stat, right? But what we also don't talk about is, period, the culture moves everything. And so you think about things like when Beyonce said, when he blanked me good, I had to take him to Red Lobster. And you think to yourself, why didn't Red Lobster hop on that? Or when Bird Box came out, and it took Popeyes forever to say the only Bird Box we care about is, and a picture of their box. So to me, that is what I know. I know how to make and help companies to ride the wave of the culture without compromising your brand. You don't have to be open quote, end quote, what people like to think is ghetto. It's not ghetto. It's using that wave to make sure your brand is in the presence of your audience. Okay. And so in a culture-driven world, I want to make sure that companies are also getting out there in their brand. And I know you probably were going to mention this, but there's a lot of people on social media right now. Celebrities are on social media. Their social media influencers are social media. Your mom and pop are on social media.
Yeah, unfortunately.
They have nothing else to do. They're TikToking their lives away. If I see one more, if I see one more,
girl, it was this one for me. That one, I was over it. Oh, yeah.
I was like, it's not even on beat. You're not even on beat, So, but no, everybody is on there. So you're like, well, what do we do as a company? How do we differentiate ourselves? And that's how you do it. You ride the wave of the culture. one of the best things that could have happened to me and companies is national days. My show that I host called It's National Day is the oldest National Day show to date on YouTube. National Day Calendar, who is the National Day calendar that I respect because they check the registrars with the actual government. They came out in 2013 in March. I started my show in December of 2014. So that is one of the best things that could have happened to social media, to any company that's trying to market. Because when you think about it, and this is how I make people look, any type of product that you have literally can be compared or matched up to a very, very culturally driven national day. Think of National Margarita Day, which is huge, You can think of anything from washing your clothes after you've had a long night and you maybe have, regurgitated after a couple of margaritas. You can think of lipstick and how they can say our lipstick stands up and beats the test of you tossing back drinks and it's still there. You can think of literally anything. Perfume. You can think of Uber, drink responsibly and share a lift or whatever. You can think of anything when it comes to a national day. That's riding the wave of the culture. National Sibling Day is huge. People are always posting. Companies need to be out there. Find a way to incorporate your siblings. I worked with Toyota for a campaign. They literally gave a huge promotion for Generations Deep. They wanted people to talk about, and they didn't know what they wanted. They wanted people to talk about Generations Deep and how Toyota's is Generations Deep. They didn't really know what they wanted. They were just like, hey, take us to your family reunion. I showed them what they needed to know. I said, you know what? You need to listen to some of the people in my family who actually own Toyotas. That's real Generations Deep. So I talked to my grandfather who had a Toyota that had suicide doors. Toyota was blown away. Like, we didn't even know that anybody remembered that. Right. And so it's like I said, it's innate in me to see that, to say, okay, we're going to ride the culture this way, that I'm going to talk to my grandfather. We're going to talk about his suicide doors. We're going to talk about my uncle's Tundra truck. And then we're going to talk about the car that I'm driving that Toyota actually gave me to drive. And then one of my nephews who was a baby who's coming up. That's the next generation. This car is safe for them. Here are all the safety features. That's the way you ride the culture, and a lot of companies, they just need to be taught that.
Deneshia, I have a question though, because as you're talking about riding the wave of the culture, I've also seen some companies make some mistakes trying to ride the wave of the culture. And so, is there ever a time where you advise not, like that one commercial Pepsi did, and it was a hot mess, right? And so, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Is there ever times where you advise against it, or like, what I mean? When do you tell someone like that's probably not the one to do?
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head. I always finish ride the wave of the culture without compromising your brand. And so you got to have a perfect balance. And that's an excellent example. As a matter of fact, I think I tweeted something about that, and Bernice King retweeted my tweet. And she was highly upset at the Jenner, even though she wasn't a Kardashian. It's still, it's like, first of all, you can't ride the wave of that culture, because although our Caucasian brothers and sisters are out there fighting on the front lines with us, we see that every day. That is not their struggle.
Right.
It's appreciated that they choose to help. As a matter of fact, no change, and this is a fact, no change has been made in government without our Caucasian brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
But you cannot have them, especially a popular one like Kendall Jenner, walk up and give the cop a Pepsi and say, hey, it's solved. As a matter of fact, police brutality got exactly extremely worse after that.
It sure did.
Yeah, so it's like, I would urge a company if you want to ride the wave of Black culture, because that's what we're talking about. We are the moving force, right? If you want to ride the wave of Black culture, you have to hire Black people.
Come on now.
You need to run this through Black people. You know, even as a consultant, if it's your business, you don't want to hire Black people, fine. But if you're going to ride that cultural wave, you need to hire a Black person as a consultant and run your idea through them. Because those kind of mistakes won't be made.
There you go. That is so good, man. And I hope you guys are really paying close attention to this, because just really wanted to tap in on that. But I also want to go back to where you were talking about the national days. I think that was really powerful. A lot of times for me, I thought about that too, and I was like, dang, like that's dope. And they literally, it's like every single day is a day, right?
Right.
But now I didn't know that you need to go to the special list to make sure it's actually officially registered, right?
Yes.
However, when should someone, now let's just say this is a client that you're bringing on, and they want to kind of ride those waves, right? When should someone start preparing for that? Because let's just say tomorrow is National Siblings Day. Should I start today, or am I too late?
Right. So, and I would tell a company, yes, you are too late, because the last thing you want to do is rush and put something out there and you're not ready for it. You got to be strategic when it comes to social media, using it as a digital marketing tool. It has to have strategy. If it does not have strategy, it's not going to work for you, because people can feel when you're just throwing something out there, when you're just throwing it out there. And I'll use myself as an example. And a lot of times we don't talk about our flaws, right? But I'm going to talk about mine. When I first started It's National Day, I was a month ahead. So my first 4 shows was a company called Pondicherry for National Cookie Day. It was the 3rd largest geological library, which is found here in Houston, for National Roots Day. I worked with HEB for National Champagne Day with Central Market. And then it was Reliance Energy for National Cut Your Energy Cost Day. I prepared a month in advance. As the years fell along and me doing these national days, the person that was recording me, which is a really great friend of mine, he's actually not a videographer. He is an extremely talented, super music producer that works with celebrities. He had to leave. He had to go and work with some people, and I was forced to kind of pick up my selfie stick and continue my national days. But there was a time where I wasn't prepped, and so you could feel it. You could feel it when I put the shows out. They weren't like the older shows. There was no strategy to them, and because of that, I lost a lot of my audience. You can't say, as a company, I want a return on investment, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for social media to whet the appetite of your audience to come and purchase something from you. You can't say, let me hop on National Sibling Day tomorrow and expect a return on investment when you didn't invest any time or energy, when you didn't invest any strategy. So you as a company have to think to yourself, social media is not your playground. It is your investment.
Did y'all hear that? Repeat that one more time. Just repeat that one more time. Repeat that one more time. Because I don't think other people understand. Okay, you got to understand. Go ahead, do that again.
Companies, you should not be on social media doing this. Okay, don't do that. It is not your playground. It is your investment. And so a good way to take a look at that is, you remember the Dolly Parton challenge, where it said
which one was that?
It had a picture for Facebook. They call it the Dolly Parton challenge. It was a picture for Facebook.
Oh, that was the Dolly Parton. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the heck that was. Listen, I didn't know what it was. Child.
Yeah, and that was a good one for companies to do. If you that's one that, like, you don't really need a lot of investment. It's just 4 pictures you want to put up. A nice picture of your company, something that's good. Like, hey, my company gives to the community. This is what we're going to put on Facebook. My company speaks about diversity and racism. That's what you want to put on Twitter. My company is encouraging health and fitness. You put that on Instagram because people like to look and scroll. And then, of course, my company hires the best of the best, and that's your LinkedIn picture. You know, you gotta be, but
Yep.
you're thinking of this as a company. And see, those
Right.
thoughts that comes out of that head is because you're looking at social media as an investment.
Absolutely. You know, and what's funny that you say that. So, okay. So this is a little, I have to, what's the word? I have to go ahead and share just a little bit of truth. So one thing about me that I have come to understand as far as like in my for-profit business. So of course, Urban CEO is our nonprofit, but I also have a for-profit that, you know, allows me to pay the bills. And that's where I help people to, well, specifically coaches and speakers to write books. Now, this is the deal. Majority of my clients tend to be, believe it or not, single women who make a substantial income that are in the speaking or coaching realm, right? And so a lot of times when I'm on like my social media, I will talk about certain things because the culture of a single woman with money, they have a certain kind of mindset. So I will purposefully use my timeline to talk about certain things that I know that as another single beautiful woman in here, out here, that we deal with, right?
Right.
And it's so funny because a lot of the times, like my men counterparts, they don't ever get it. They're like, girl, why are you talking? I'm like, go look at the comments. I bet you about 90% of them are my clients. And so that even goes to, you know, when you talk about culture, I think it's important that as entrepreneurs, for those of you urban CEOs who are entrepreneurs, you got to understand, like, when we say culture, who's following you? You know, where does it make sense? Because if you're doing this particular post and that's not connected to your audience, right? That's your culture, then that doesn't make sense. So is that something like what you're saying in regards to understanding like the right culture that you're connected to?
Definitely, that's a part of it. As a matter of fact, when companies come to me and they want to hire me, the first thing that I do is I provide them with an analysis of their social media. And so I will ask them, who is your audience? And if I go and I look, and as a matter of fact, I did this with a company recently. They looked into, a nonprofit looked into hiring me to strategize for their social media. I asked them, who is your audience? They told me, our audience is people we want to purchase our app. That's our audience. We want them to purchase our app. So I said, okay. I'm like, okay, great. I look on their social media. They are following so many celebrities.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, you know, if you want people to purchase an app, you want these nonprofits to join your app so that you can crowd fund for them, which is it was a great app. Don't get me wrong, an amazing app. If you want them to do that, why are you following celebrities?
People that are not going to invest into that.
Not only are they not going to invest, even the celebrities, also like the schools, like the universities. A lot of times, these people don't even, the managers of these social media don't even make decisions for the, you know, that brand, that company. Before social media was turned back over to the celebrities because of quarantine, a lot of them didn't even run their own social media.
Yep.
Their PR companies ran their social media. And so you can't, that's the first thing that I look at. Who is your audience?
Right.
Okay. And then we sprinkle in, so it's exactly what you said, and I love that you do that. We ride the wave of the culture of your audience, but we sprinkle in that 1.2 trillion buying power of Black culture. So you're not always going to be posting about Bird Box or you know, the beef when they had beef, when Drake had beef with Meek Mill, McDonald's and I think it was Wendy's said the only beef we care about, and then they put their actual burger. That's a great way to ride the culture, but you don't see them doing it all the time. It's not all the time that they do it. So it's a sprinkle, and it depends on, number one, what platform you're using. It's best to do that on Twitter. When you have these challenges, you can pick one challenge, or, you know, decide, hey, we're going to do one challenge every quarter or one challenge every 6 months. And you can put that on your Instagram. You're not going to ride that cultural wave every single day. Most days, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, you're going to ride the cultural wave of your audience. But that's the number one. You got to know who your audience is. And
Right.
kudos to you for figuring it out early.
Well, it's not really early. I've been doing this for a while now, so.
No, I'm saying when you did figure it out,
Yeah.
kudos to you for figuring that out early. Because
Thank you.
some people be years into it and they still don't know who their audience is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here. Many of our urban CEOs, they're not just only entrepreneurs. Some of them are CEOs for their jobs. When I think of a CEO, that's a chief executive officer, right? But it can be
Right.
a CEO of your job, a CEO of your finances, of your household, et cetera, et cetera. And so we don't ever like to turn anyone away because sometimes they feel like, well, if I'm not an entrepreneur, I don't belong. So
Right.
what I would like to ask you, and this will be our final question for our urban CEOs watching, and they're saying, you know what? I'm feeling her energy. What would you say would be your best kind of client? Because I know you mentioned these big name companies, and I know, we don't want to intimidate y'all and make you feel like don't reach out because that's what you don't want to do. You never want to eliminate yourself without understanding if you're qualified. So what qualifies somebody to work with you?
A listening ear. It's as simple as that. And I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much. Like, I did mention some really big clients and companies that I've worked with, but I will work with anyone who has a listening ear. You're coming to me for a service. Let me service you. You don't go to the nail shop and say, no, wait a minute, let me scrub my own feet. No, I'm here to scrub your feet. I'm here to get all of the dirt and dead skin. Let me do that for your company. But you have to listen to me because this is my niche, right? Like you have your niche. And so a lot of people, they always say, well, I want a client that has this much equity, or I want a client that have this much return. I don't care about any of that. I care about your core values as a person. Are you able to listen and respect what I'm telling you about my niche? And that's knowing social media, knowing how to differentiate companies that do the same thing, knowing how to put your company in front of your correct audience, knowing how to identify your audience and take you to that next level.
Well, look, you know what? Let me tell you something, girl. We're going to make sure that we bring you back up here because I'm pretty sure we're going to have plenty of questions. And by the way, for those of you watching the show, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Type those questions in the comment space. Also, make sure that you do reach out to all of our guests, everybody, anyone that you connect to, right? Also, I know that you're with Houston Style Magazine. I know I said last question, but just tell us a little bit about the magazine for those individuals who are watching all over the United States and in multiple countries. Tell us about the magazine, and then also let us know how we can get in touch with you.
Definitely. Houston Style Magazine, if you are not following it, is the premier magazine for urban culture here in Houston. It is over 25 years old. You guys have to follow us. We keep you up on everything. It is everything Houston. Okay, so make sure you follow at Style Magazine HTX. It's Style Magazine HTX on Instagram, and it's at Houston Style on Twitter. Also, just look up Houston Style Magazine on Facebook. And as for myself, you can follow me everywhere at TotallyRandie. That's RANDIE. And that's at TotallyRandie. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it. If you want to get in touch with me for Pingme Social, for actually what I actually do for my company, you can definitely reach out to any of my social media, and I definitely will send you an email. Just shoot me an email on any of my social media platforms. And I just really want to say thank you so much for having me, and thank you for having this platform. It's a beautiful platform, and I definitely am honored to be on it.
Well, thank you for being here. Aren't you so sweet? You got me over here blushing, girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like to
Awesome.
blush. Deneshia, aka TotallyRandie, girl. I'm just trying to connect them. Listen, TotallyRandie is very unique, and so you got to connect them, right? Someone like Deneshia. Her name's Deneshia, but it's TotallyRandie. I wanted to call you Randy so bad, but
Right.
Deneshia.
You can.
Okay. So, because I know when you're in the streets, people are like TotallyRandie, because that's how they do me. Okay. Because people can't say Taria. That's my first name.
Right.
And so I just say, call me Vision Avant. So they're like, Vision Avant. I'm like, hey, girl. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Deneshia, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And again, we can't wait to have you back here. And then once the world opens back up, darling, we're going to make sure for our next Houston Summit to have you out there with us and connecting with us. All right?
Let's do it. Thank you.
All right. Well, look, y'all, that's another edition of our incredible As Real As It Gets TV show, and I hope you guys took some notes. I hope you plan on reaching out to TotallyRandie, aka Deneshia. Okay, make sure that you connect with her. If you know that you need to figure out this social media thing, guys, you got to plug in. You got to find the people who can take you to that next level. I always like to share to people, if we were going to get us to where we wanted to be, we would already be there, right? That's why you have to enlist certain specialists. For me, I have several different coaches in different areas. I got a coach for ads. I got a coach for launching. I had a coach when I was initially writing my book. Now, of course, that's in the space that I'm in. But I continuously make sure, in order to strengthen myself, that I have coaches. And that is exactly the VIP guest that we brought for you guys today. All right? So with that stated, that is it. That is all, darling. We will see you on the next show. Deuces.